Now on CoastTV News.
Crossing controversy continues.
Our community is really upset.
After a tense public hearing in May, the big development goes in front of Sussex County officials today.
Horn havoc. The push in Ellendale to limit that sound from passing trains.
Conservation conversion, the proposal to make an old house into a new field office at Milton's Nature Conservancy.
We'll see less smoke and more sunshine today and warmer temperatures. The warm temperatures stick around the rest of the week with increasing showers and storms into the weekend. Details coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And it is Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, we continue with the first week of June. First full week of June.
First full week of June. It is starting to get warmer outside.
Yes, it is.
Honestly, pretty hot
there
outside.
There might be a time where we actually have to kick on the AC.
I have turned mine on.
Okay.
I have turned mine on. You know, it's
I'm a holdout, Bob.
Good for you. But I think this week's an air conditioning week for sure, Bob.
Might be. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, you're very brave. And Elisa, I'm with you. I've also clicked on the AC as well. As we topped out in the 80s yesterday, we're going to add some humidity to that as well. And temperatures this morning starting out a little milder than the past mornings with 50s and low 60s, 60 in Millsboro, 59 in Georgetown, even mid 60s from Lewis to Bethany Beach right now, Ocean City, 67, as the winds are starting to come in out of the southwest, calm inland, a little bit of a breeze at the coast. The visibilities are good right now. That doesn't mean we can't see maybe a little bit of fog as we go out there, but we're still looking at clear skies, maybe a few high clouds, and we are still dealing with the smoke from the Canadian wildfires, but I think that will get better as high pressure sliding offshore. We're getting into a southwesterly flow, and I think that will start to disperse the smoke. You can still see high levels of smoke across Delaware very early this morning. But then as we go through the morning hours, you can see how we get into this blue color. And on the legend, you can see that's low amounts of smoke. So probably more blue skies, sunshine, and warmth today. But I don't think the smoke is totally gone. Could return a little bit on Thursday, and so will the clouds. But lots of sunshine today. Temperatures quickly warming, 60s, 70s, and then into the lower 80s this afternoon. And we're going to crank up the humidity as well. I'll have more on the heat and some weekend shower and storm chances, especially Saturday. Details on that coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you, Bob. Our top story this hour is taking place this afternoon. The Cool Spring Crossing development's back in front of Sussex County's Planning and Zoning Commission. The developer is applying for several zoning changes on 637 acres. It's what you're seeing right here on your screen. This is for more than 1,900 units in 7 villages and different types of housing. There was a public hearing last month, and people we spoke with expressed concern over the size of the Cool Spring development.
The community is really upset. When I was taking our petition around, several people told me they were thinking about leaving the area because of the overdevelopment. It's just it's not what people moved here for, right?
And here's the area we are talking about. It's north of Route 9 and off of Cool Springs Road. The entire development would go up to Hudson Road and North Walker Road.
Office renovation for the Nature Conservancy in Milton. The Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commissioners will look at a proposal to convert a house into a field office. It's a property that's nearly 4 acres on the north side of Round Pole Bridge Road. The property was donated to the Conservancy in 1999. When complete, 2 staff members will work in the office.
Also at that planning and zoning meeting, 2 major subdivision proposals are up for a public hearing. According to the agenda, a developer called Windscape Farms aims to divide roughly 26 acres of land to create 49 single-family lots near the northwest side of Pettyjohn Road. The second, called Symphon Glen, is looking to divide almost 110 acres of land into 219 single-family lots also near the northwest side of Pettyjohn Road.
Today in Lewis, the City Council could finalize the replacement for Amy Marasco. It was last month that Marasco was sworn in as mayor, becoming the first woman in the city to hold that office. At a Wednesday special meeting, Council could make Trina Brown Hicks its newest member. Brown Hicks is a current member of the Lewis African American Heritage Commission.
Some Ellendale neighbors are sounding off about train noise, and happening today, town leaders are considering creating a train quiet zone because of it. Some neighbors say the noise has gotten worse over the last year, It even wakes them up during the middle of the night. The trains sound off at the intersections due to safety regulations, but some neighbors are hopeful they can meet a compromise.
If they can't get a quiet zone from like 11 to 5 or 6, then at least see if they can't not blow it as much and as loud.
Town leaders say no final ordinance or decisions have been made yet. Tonight's town council meeting takes place at 7 o'clock.
New overnight, students across Delaware can shine a light on the women who have made history in the first state. The Delaware Department of Human Resources and the Office of Women's Advancement and Advocacy have launched the Voices of Inspiration student video contest. It's open to students ages 8 to 13. The contest asks kids to create a short video, and part of the prize includes a $100 gift card and tickets to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony in October. To learn more about how to enter and important deadlines, you can head to CoastTV.com right now for all that information.
Also in Delaware today, state leaders will award $750,000 to 10 up-and-coming companies for the EDGE Grant program. This is for aging, development, growth, and expansion. There are 5 winners in the STEM category who will receive $100,000 each, and 5 in the entrepreneur category who will receive $50,000 each. 2 of these businesses are from Sussex County. That ceremony takes place at Bailey's Dover at 1:30.
The 39th annual Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics Delaware kicks off June 11th. It involves nearly 800 officers from across the state, and this is video from that event last year. Delaware State Police say the event spans 3 days and multiple legs. Troopers will carry the torch honoring athletes with intellectual disabilities, and some key stops include Rehoboth Beach and Dover's Legislative Mall.
On your screen right now is a live look at Washington, D.C. The Senate continues to go over details of President Trump's spending bill that was recently approved in the House. The president is facing pushback from billionaire Elon Musk, who slammed the bill for overspending and increasing the nation's debt.
NBC's Chris Pallone shows us the White House is also defending the tariffs and steel on aluminum that kick in today.
As tariffs on aluminum and steel double for most U.S. trade partners overnight, dissent is bubbling up among some of President Trump's allies over his signature spending bill. Billionaire Elon Musk, who spent months trying to slash government spending as a temporary government employee, blasted the president's self-proclaimed big, beautiful bill as a disgusting abomination. Writing on X, Musk complained the president's plan will massively increase the gigantic budget deficit. Some GOP budget hardliners agree.
I can't in good conscience give up every principle that I stand for and every principle that I was elected upon, and that's that we can't accumulate more debt.
Independent analysts project, as written, the bill could add several $1 trillion to the deficit. It extends tax cuts, boosts spending on defense and border security, and includes cuts to Medicaid and food aid programs. The White House is brushing off Musk's criticism.
Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it.
It comes as the president's latest tariffs on steel and aluminum took effect overnight, doubling from 25% to 50%. With China as a top competitor in the industry, the White House says President Trump could speak with President Xi in the coming days.
There will be a leader-to-leader talk very soon.
President Trump escalating his trade war, risking increased costs for Americans to potentially shore up the nation's steel industry. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Washington.
People in Boulder, Colorado, still reeling from the domestic terrorist attack on a peaceful gathering last Sunday. The community coming together late Tuesday afternoon to hold a prayer vigil. The participants forming a circle to pray for the injured victims outside the Pearl Street Mall courthouse. It's where the attack took place. The suspect, who is in the U.S. illegally, faces several charges of attempted first-degree murder and a federal hate crime charge.
We're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
Now, coming up, highway hazard help, what was recently put in place in Bethany Beach, and what is still in the planning stages, all in the name of safety.
Also, teacher funding falls short, what it means for educators in Worcester County now that the new budget is finalized.
And Dad Day dollars, the record projected for Father's Day. How much is the average person expected to spend? Coast TV News Today is back after this.
Coming up on 512 on this Wednesday morning, it looks like they raked the beach really nice in Ocean City on the Gateway Subaru Cam. Still looking at hazy, smoky skies this morning and temperatures in the 50s and low 60s inland areas with mid 60s at the beaches right now. Winds are light, but they're coming in out of the southwest, and we're looking at clear skies. Still looking at some smoke and haze this morning, but I think improving conditions as we go into the afternoon as high pressure is sliding offshore and we're getting into that warmer southwesterly flow. Big warm up as we go through the day. Here's a bus stop forecast for the kiddos. Off to school, light jacket 59, hazy sun and mild, good visibility, and then heading home, pretty toasty for the kids, sunny and warm and 82.
Happening today, the Camp Rehoboth outreach program known as CROP will begin a 2-day food drive for the Food Bank of Delaware. Organizers say volunteers will be collecting non-perishable donations on June 4th and the 5th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. outside the Camp Rehoboth Community Center on Baltimore Avenue in Rehoboth Beach. The most needed items include canned meats, vegetables, cereal, grains, and healthy snacks.
There's another scam in Delaware. This one's attempting to convince you it's from the DMV, and this is what the message looks like. It claims you have an unpaid traffic ticket and offers a link to fix it. But the DMV says it's a trick to steal your information.
The boss makes too much money. That's the message Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders sent to the company Tuesday. Nearly 60% of them voted against WB Discovery's 2024 executive payouts. CEO David Zaslav's total compensation was nearly $52 million last year. During the same period, WB Discovery saw its stock slide 7%.
Dear old dad is likely to make out like a bandit this year. According to the National Retail Federation, spending on Father's Day is expected to reach $24 billion, and that is a record, folks. It's way up from last year's $22.4 billion, and about 8,200 surveyed respondents say the average person plans to drop about $200. Father's Day is Sunday, June 15th.
We're seeing a hazy start right now in the Spicer Brothers camp. Should be a beautiful sunrise here coming up in about 25 minutes. Expecting less smoke today, more blue skies, and warmer temperatures into the 80s. The 80s continue through the week into the weekend with increasing rain chances then. I'll have your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 5:16, and we are checking out the live look at Ocean City, getting ready for a nice day at the beach there. Bob, you're still tracking some of that smoke. You got some smoke from the Canadian wildfires.
I don't want any of that smoke, Matt. No, we don't want that. Yeah, it's originating in Saskatchewan, and we're seeing more of that smoke. We saw a lot of it yesterday, and we're seeing it this morning. Now, you look at the model here and the orange and red colors, that's indicating a high concentration of smoke in the upper levels of the atmosphere. It's not coming down to the surface, so kind of minimal effects there. And then we're seeing the thickest of the smoke shifting offshore as we go through the day, so that's certainly good news. But I don't think we're totally out of the woods, because we go into Thursday morning, looks like maybe another batch of smoke once again in the upper layers of the atmosphere as we go through your Thursday. Then I think it should be out of here by Friday. We have that summer-like setup now as high pressure is sliding offshore. We're getting into a warm southwesterly flow, and it's going to get muggy as well, with temperatures in the 80s really through the rest of the week into the weekend. Right now, a milder start than previous mornings. 59 in Seaford, 56 in Redden, Willard's at 55, 67 Ocean City, setting up to be a great beach day. 66 in Bethany Beach and Rehoboth at 66, as we have a light southwesterly breeze right now, and it'll be light all day, but some stagnant air to the north. We have air quality alerts around the Philly area, southeast PA into New Jersey as well, because of the smoke there and the ozone in the urban areas. But for us, we do not have any air quality alerts. Really not expecting that with increasing air quality as we go through the day. Right now, we're looking at clear skies all across the area. Hazy conditions. Should be a beautiful sunrise here in about 25 minutes. Just some high clouds floating in out of the north as high pressure sliding offshore, getting into that warm, muggy flow. And want to talk about this over Florida. It's starting to spin, and it doesn't have tropical characteristics yet, but the National Hurricane Center is saying it has about a 10% chance of developing into something tropical. Looks like it's tracking up the southeast coast. Lots of rain for the Carolinas, but it looks like that will track off to our southeast as we go into the weekend. We'll be watching that carefully. In the meantime, here's Futurecast this morning, quickly warming up as we're into the 70s mid-morning. By noon, low 80s inland, and I think we're seeing 70s at the beaches, even 81 in Rehoboth. By 3:30, 74 Bethany Beach, 70 in Fenwick Island, and looking at mid-80s inland areas. As we go into the evening hours, we're going to increase the clouds, and I think that keeps the temperatures just a little warmer as we go into Thursday morning with low 60s. And then we go into Thursday, and with cloud cover, I don't think we're going to be looking at really hot temperatures. In fact, probably mid-80s into the afternoon hours, inland areas, and 60s and 70s at the coast. Not expecting rain, but definitely some cloud cover as we're looking at comfortable conditions becoming more muggy to humid as we go through the end of the week into the weekend, and maybe very humid by Monday as we get into the summer pattern. We're looking at the potential for showers and storms as we go into Saturday. I know not the best timing, but it looks like that could be the case. And then Sunday, still some lingering showers. And then I think we'll be seeing that system that I was talking about in Florida passing to our south and east, but we'll be watching it. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, mid-80s the next couple of days with more clouds Thursday, 84 Friday, showers and storms Saturday, 81. We need the rain. I know, not the best timing. A few showers Sunday, 80. Then we keep it in the low 80s into early next week with more storms by Tuesday. And congratulations to Susan Spouse from Lewis on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
Thank you, Bob. This morning, teachers in Worcester County expressing disappointment. It's after commissioners approved the fiscal year 2026 budget. It was a contentious 4-3 vote that left the school system $1 million short of its request for a new salary package. Teachers say it jeopardizes a much-needed $4,000 raise, but the commissioners voting in favor of the new package say it's fiscally responsible and in the best interest of taxpayers.
To not fund this on the backs of our employees and to take the money and put it elsewhere is unfathomable for me, because it should be there.
We're funding the education budget to quite an extent. They're getting, like I said here at the meeting, they're getting a 7% increase on the Board of Education budget.
Teachers Association now has to renegotiate with the Board of Education.
The Indian River School District's second referendum is just 1 day away. This comes after the first referendum back in March was defeated by over 600 votes. The referendum is asking voters to approve $22.5 million in additional funding to cover rising operating costs and maintain competitive salaries for staff. Be ready to vote Thursday, June 5th, while polls open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Up next on Coast TV News Today, highway hazard help. What safety improvements could be on the way in Bethany Beach after a workshop with DelDOT this week. Don't go anywhere.
In Bethany Beach, the town is one step closer to pedestrian safety improvements on Coastal Highway. Tuesday, DelDOT held its final public workshop discussing the North Bethany Bicycle and Pedestrian Corridor Study. The study is looking at improvements like new sidewalks, dedicated right turn lanes, and more risk-free pedestrian crosswalks. Also, the possibility of installing barriers separating bike lanes and the roadway.
People are afraid to be out there because of the high-speed cars and an ability to slow the cars down, and the future prospects of putting in a physical barrier would make people much more comfortable to walk and ride bikes up and down Route 1.
One of the major improvements already done as a part of this project was lowering the speed limit around the Indian River Inlet Bridge. We have another warm day in store for the coast, so I'm sure the beaches are going to start getting busy.
I am sure they will too. If you have the time, actually a better day today than what we're hearing about this weekend. Bob, this is the beach day to go to.
Oh, I would think so. The skies will be bluer instead of white with the smoke. A little hazy early on, and then definitely warmer temperatures. You can see that right now. Fenwick Island and Ocean City starting out in the 60s, but into the mid to maybe upper 70s this afternoon. Water temperatures rising through the mid 70s too. Little itty bitty waves though, only 1 foot. So smooth ferry ride up to Cape May with lower 80s in Lewis and near 80 in Rehoboth. And once again, The UV index not only high, but very high as we go into the afternoon. On the bay side, we're looking at 1 foot waves near 80 in Cambridge this afternoon. And then Crisfield, lots of sunshine and temperatures into the upper 70s as we'll see warm conditions through the week, muggy conditions as well, and some rain chances into the weekend. Much more in your forecast coming up in the next half hour.
After the break on Coast TV News today, terrifying Trump family trespasser, the actions by one man to reach a member of the first family.
Also, a renovation request, the potential upgrade for the Delaware Nature Conservancy.
In Cool Springs consideration, we'll tell you the new changes that's bringing this massive development back in front of the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Committee. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
Now on Coast TV News.
Development debate. A big plan in eastern Sussex County could take its next step later today.
Quiet zone request. People in Ellendale looking for relief from railroad noise.
City Council change. We could see the swearing in of a new member in Lewis.
We'll see less smoke and more sunshine today and warmer temperatures. The warm temperatures stick around the rest of the week with increasing showers and storms into the weekend. Details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
June 4th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
And we're about to hit 5:30 on this Wednesday morning. I have to give Bob props on his mowing forecast yesterday. Not too hot. It was just right.
Wow.
Once we get rolling in the summer, I'm usually a dripping mess with sweat for that chore.
We never doubt Bob. We know Bob's always correct. Come on. I had no doubts. Matt, very proud of you for doing lawn work. You have a very positive attitude about it. I'm glad. Bob, you said you're going to ask.
I have no choice. It has to be done.
That's true. But Bob said he's going to ask your neighbors and make sure you actually follow through.
There are witnesses, Bob. There are witnesses.
No, I know. We need video evidence of this lawn being cut by Matt. But Matt said he did it, so I trust him. And good morning, guys. We are looking at conditions drying out where we can get out there and do the yard work, and that will continue the next few days. It's a cool start this morning. Not chilly with 50s and low 60s, even mid 60s at the beaches. Lewis 66. The same for Bethany Beach, but inland a little cooler, 59 Georgetown, Willard's 55, Millsboro 59. Inland areas calm right now with the winds. A little bit of a southwesterly breeze will warm us up as we go through the day even more. Right now visibility is good, Salisbury, Ocean City, and Georgetown, but there could be some areas of some light fog out there. We definitely have hazy skies, smoky skies. Should be a beautiful sunrise here in a few minutes. Otherwise, it's clear as we have high pressure building in and actually sliding offshore now. We're getting into a southwesterly flow with mild and muggy conditions as we go through the day. As we're tracking the smoke, it looks like the highest concentration of the smoke, which is well aloft, really not a health problem, is this morning. And then it starts to slide offshore. You can see the blue color where it starts to thin out as we go into the afternoon hours. But I think it could come back a little bit tomorrow with the cloud cover too. But your DriveCast gave it the green light this morning and for the PM commute. Hazy sun, mild out the door this morning, and then looking at sunny and warm conditions, dry roads, and good visibility heading home this evening.
Thank you, Bob. This afternoon in Georgetown, the Cool Spring Crossing development is back in front of the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission. The developer is applying for several zoning changes on 637 acres. This is for more than 1,900 units in 7 villages and different types of housing. There's a few proposals for the property, but this large plan as a whole is dependent on the developer's request to change the land use map. This comes as Sussex County considers several other developments, including Belmead, a proposed mixed-use complex with apartments and retail space planned for 30 acres along Route 24 next to Beacon Middle School near Lewis. And North Star, the 400-acre subdivision proposed west of Lewis near Route 9 and Beaver Dam Road.
Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commissioners are also looking at a proposal to convert a house into a field office at the Nature Conservancy in Milton. It's a property that's nearly 4 acres on the north side of Round Pole Bridge Road. The property was donated to the Conservancy in 1999. When complete, 2 staff members will work in the office.
This just in today in Lewis, the City Council could finalize the replacement for Amy Marasco. Last month, Marasco was sworn in as mayor, becoming the first woman in city history to hold that office. At a Wednesday special meeting, Council could bring Trina Brown Hicks as its newest member. Brown Hicks is a current member of Lewis's African American Heritage Commission.
New this morning, people living in Ellendale have sounded off about train noise, and happening today in response to that, town officials are considering creating a train quiet zone. Some in Ellendale say the noise has gotten worse over the last year. It even wakes them up during the middle of the night. The trains sound off at the intersections. It's due to safety regulations. Town council members say they plan to address this at their meeting tonight.
Students across Delaware can shine a light on the women who've made history in the first state. The Delaware Department of Human Resources and the Office of Women's Advancement and Advocacy have launched the Voices of Inspiration student video contest. This is open to students ages 8 to 13. The contest asks kids to create a short video. Part of the prize includes a $100 gift card and tickets to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony in October. And it's an important day for President Donald Trump's tariffs. Steel and aluminum tariffs are doubling, and the White House says it's a deadline day for countries submitting proposed trade deadlines.
Amy Kiley shows us while the president promises the U.S. will thrive due to his economic actions, some U.S. business leaders and investors appear less confident.
The president expects good deals, and we are on track for that.
The White House says it wants countries to submit their best offers for trade deals by today. That says the 90-day pause on so-called reciprocal tariffs is set to end July 9th. Some experts question whether the Trump administration can secure numerous trade agreements before then.
Well, the challenge here is, of course, that it is not easy to just quickly make a trade deal. The trade deals are not only about the tariffs on goods. It's also about non-tariff barriers. It's also services. It's also all kinds of other things.
Also today, President Donald Trump is doubling tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. That brings those duties to 50%. Trump says encouraging domestic production of those metals is a matter of national security. A trade group called the Can Manufacturers Institute warns raising the tariff on steel could raise prices at grocery stores. Another new trade warning is from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Its new outlook predicts a 1.2 percentage point slowdown in U.S. GDP growth this year compared to last year, plus another dip down the road. It also forecasts a 0.4 percentage point hit globally for 2025.
It's quite important that countries get together, see what are their grievances against each other, and get an agreement to lower trade barriers.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
On your screen right now is a live look at Washington, D.C. The Senate continues to go over details of President Trump's spending bill that was recently approved in the House. The president is facing pushback from billionaire Elon Musk, who slammed the bill for overspending and increasing the nation's debt. Independent Analyst Project has written the bill could add several $1 trillion to that deficit. It extends tax cuts, boosts spending on defense and border security, and includes cuts to Medicaid and food aid programs. The White House is continuing to stand behind this proposal.
Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it.
I can't, in good conscience, give up every principle that I stand for and every principle that I was elected upon, and that's that we can't accumulate more debt.
The tensions here as it comes, we just mentioned the latest tariffs on steel and aluminum took effect overnight, doubling from 25% to 50%.
And this just in, a Texas man is being accused of trespassing at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate overnight. The Secret Service says they detained 23-year-old Anthony Reyes after he allegedly scaled a perimeter fence at the property. He allegedly made comments about the president's 18-year-old granddaughter, telling police that he wanted to marry Kai. Reyes was previously arrested and accused of trespassing on the property on New Year's Eve last year. Got a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, trash fee fiasco. We'll tell you why businesses are saying a possibly increase would inconvenience customers.
Also, local stars take next level. We look at the commitments recently made by several high school athletes, while some already playing in college take home impressive honors.
And lunch debt diminishes. We'll tell you how a neighboring community is coming together to pay down the fee at the Cape Henlopen School District. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
We salute Greg Maloney. During his time at the Naval Air Station in Iceland, Greg was responsible for keeping aircraft functioning properly so aircrew could patrol the skies and turn back Russian bombers that tried to penetrate our northern airspace. We are grateful for his dedication to protecting our country.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
540 on this hazy and somewhat mild Wednesday morning. Dry Tech Cam 65 in Ocean City. You can see the sky has that white complexion to it. Still looking at some haze and smoke out there with temperatures in the 50s and low 60s inland and mid 60s at the coast. So definitely milder than the past mornings as we're seeing very light winds at the beaches, calm inland, but the tendency is out of the southwest as we are looking at hazy skies. Still some smoke this morning. That's in the upper layers of the atmosphere. Will not be a health problem, and I think the skies get bluer throughout the day as we see high pressure sliding offshore and we get into a warmer southwesterly flow, adding humidity to the situation. Matt, you can maybe weed whip some more and do some more lawn work if you want to go out today. Good conditions to do that today, tomorrow, and Friday. Fair on Saturday as we have increasing chances for rain then. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. Sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico.
Cape Henlopen School District is thanking the Milton Community Foundation for helping local students in need. According to the district, the foundation recently donated $2,000 to help pay down student lunch debt. In a letter to the organization, Cape Henlopen's Child Nutrition Services said the contribution brings them one step closer to eliminating more than the $26,000 in total debt.
An update this morning on a playground project in Salisbury. A ribbon cutting for new upgrades at Doverdale Park is taking place this week after a delay. You can see some of that new equipment right here on your screen. The city says that event will take place tomorrow, June 5th.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
The high school spring sports season has come to an end on Delmarva, so now is the time for some high school stars to look ahead to the next level. Over to the softball diamond. After the state title game against Caravel Academy, Sussex Tech's power hitter Haley Lawson has accepted an offer to continue her education and softball career at Lincoln University. She'll be joining a Lincoln University squad coming off of some program history. The Lions are coming off back-to-back postseason appearances, including advancing to the CIAA championships for the second consecutive season. Now we transition from the future of college softball to current college softball stars. At the University of Delaware, standout pitcher and Monmouth University transfer Billy Kerwood was named the Eastern College Athletic Conference Pitcher of the Year. She went 23-10 in 194 innings with a 1.59 ERA, 250 strikeouts, 13 complete games, and 4 shutouts. She also threw the program's 19th ever no-hitter game against Hampton. But she wasn't the only star from the first state. Starting catcher Sydney Schaefer was also named to the All-ECAC team as a designated player, making her the second player in Delaware history to earn the honor at that position. Schaefer put together the best offensive season in Delaware history, hitting 19 home runs, 57 RBIs, 14 doubles, and hitting .421 while scoring 49 runs, all of which were program records in a season. Schaefer was named CAA Player of the Year as well and was the East Region First Team selection. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
Coming up tonight on DSN 7:30, we have Pro Hockey Replay when the Delaware Thunder takes on Columbus, then catch the final score at 10:30.
And now a look at some of the top stories in the world of entertainment. Here's Douglas Hyde with today's Hollywood Minute.
We need your help. We are on the lookout for a missing guitar.
We're trying to find the guitar I played in Back to the Future.
No one's seen that guitar since 1985, and we need to find it.
Great Scott! Marty McFly's guitar from the original Back to the Future seems to have been erased from existence. Gibson Guitars, which manufactured the missing six-string, is asking for the public's help. If you know where it might be, send any tips to losttothefuture.com. Gibson's producing a documentary on the search tied to the film's 40th anniversary this year.
This isn't real.
Well, it feels real to me. The trailer for Margot Robbie's first movie since Barbie just dropped. Co-starring Colin Farrell, A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey tells the story of two strangers who travel into the past together and relive key moments of their lives. The romantic adventure hits the big screen in September. Taylor Swift asked her fans not to buy or stream the original versions of her first 6 albums because she didn't own the rights to them. Now that she does, Swifties are unleashed. Spotify is reporting a big surge in streams for those albums, and Speak Now leads the pack with a whopping 430% bump. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Still seeing some hazy, smoky skies on the Tidal Health Cam at Salisbury, but dry roads. Skies become more blue and less smoky through the day as temperatures warm through the 80s. The 80s continue into the weekend with increasing rain chances then. I'll have your forecast details coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
It's now 5:47 and we are taking a live look outside at Salisbury this morning. And Bob, we have another warm day coming up. Not really seeing too much of a sunrise here yet. That sky is looking a little hazy, maybe from some of those Canadian wildfires.
Yeah. Yep, they are, Elisa, and I think we are going to improve in the smoke department as we go through time, but we're still looking at the hazy, smoky conditions this morning. You can see the legend at the top of your screen showing the red color being high concentration of smoke, but it's in the upper layers of the atmosphere. It's not mixing down, so that means it's minimal health issues. However, if you do suffer from respiratory problems, it's always best to stay in filtered air and maybe do that as we go through the next couple of days. As we'll see those high levels of smoke actually start to move offshore as we go through the latter part of the morning, so the sky should be actually bluer as we go into the afternoon hours, and then we're in good shape as we go through the evening. Now on Thursday, we will increase the clouds, but also maybe more smoke too. We probably won't see it as much because there'll be more cloud cover, but maybe one last little batch of smoke before it finally clears out for good. As we're looking at high pressure sliding offshore and getting that classic Bermuda high set up with the southwesterly flow, warm and humid conditions with temperatures creeping up through the 80s and getting increasingly muggy as well. And it's a relatively mild start to our day. 66 Bethany Beach, Rehoboth, 65 as is Lewis. Salisbury 55, 59 in Laurel, 58 in Millsboro and Daxboro. You're waking up to 61 degrees with calm winds, but the tendency is out of the southwest, a little breeze along the coast, and we do have an air quality alert, not for Delmarva, but for the Philly area, back into New Jersey and eastern parts of PA, where the ozone layers are higher, and that's where they're expecting maybe more pollutants in the air. But I think we're okay here. We have enough mixing in the atmosphere. As we're looking at clear skies this morning with the hazy conditions, clear skies all up and down the East Coast, as we're watching high pressure sliding offshore. We're getting into that warm flow, and we're watching a disturbance developing over Florida. It could get tropical characteristics over the next few days, but it's a low chance, but it looks like it will creep up the southeast coast, giving the Carolinas quite a bit in the way of rain. I think it misses us to the south, but we'll continue to keep an eye on that for sure. Here's Futurecast this morning. We're in the 50s to around 60, lower 60s inland areas, and then a quick warm up through the morning. By noon, we're into the low 80s and mid 80s by 3:30. 84 Millsboro, 83 Delmar, 84 in Salisbury, and finally good beach weather. 70s from Fenwick Island up to Rehoboth, maybe even lower 80s in Rehoboth. And then as we go through this evening, clouds increase. Temperatures not as chilly by Thursday morning with the cloud cover, and I think we will keep it mostly cloudy tomorrow, and that will kind of put a lid on the heat with temperatures into the mid 80s around Millsboro and Delmar. And at the beach is still pretty nice with temperatures into the 70s and maybe even some 80s too around Rehoboth and Lewis, and still pretty pleasant into tomorrow evening. Here's our muggy meter. We're still looking at comfortable conditions today, but then as we go into Thursday and Friday, it's muggy to the humid range, and then we're in the humid range as we go into the weekend and almost bordering on very humid as we go into early next week. Now, we do have a chance of rain heading into the weekend. I know it's not the best timing, but some showers, maybe a few thunderstorms as we go into your Saturday. We need the rain. Once again, not the best timing, and then maybe a few showers Sunday. And then by Monday, I think we're watching that potential tropical system passing well to our south and east. We're looking at clouds Monday and a few more showers. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 85 today and tomorrow. Lots of sunshine.
There you go, Bob.
Oh, okay. Are we back? Yes. 85 today, 85 on Thursday with mostly cloudy skies. Friday, 84. Storms Saturday, 81, and then showers Sunday, 80, and maybe another chance of storms by Tuesday, and a high of 82. Matt?
All right. Thanks, Bob. Trash may soon take a greater financial toll for some in Wicomico County. Solid Waste Division wants to increase rates for commercial haulers to manage the landfill. The proposed raising the tipping fee from $78 per ton to $84 per ton on July 1st. It's followed by another $4 increase in the new year. And one local hauler we spoke with says the increases are just coming too fast.
They're trying to catch things back up and have workable equipment, and we agree with all of that generally. The problem is they're trying to catch us all up within a year or two, and it's too short of a time frame. This is the second year in a row that they've proposed increases to start with only a few weeks' notice given to trash haulers.
And Dooley said the proposal would be a big disruptor for disposal companies like his because most of his clients have already paid for July and many for the remainder of the year.
The time is now 5:53, and we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Yeah, this hour, today's coastal pets.
Aw.
Yeah, pets. They are best buds. On your screen, we have Hannah, Barrett, Dozier, and Kimber. As you can see, these good boys and girls have no problem posing for a picture.
Aww.
That is a great picture.
That is.
These dogs are submitted to us by Nicole and Willards.
Love to see that. And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
If you do that, you got that QR code top center. Scan it, get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
He shows dieting too much might impact your mental health. Researchers say a study found people who followed a calorie-restrictive diet were more likely to have higher symptoms of depression. People on a weight loss program that featured processed foods, refined carbs, saturated fats, processed meat, and sweets were more likely to report higher levels of depression.
Scientists are unraveling the mysteries of the medieval pandemic known as the Black Death. The plague killed at least 25 million people across Europe over 5 years. And a new study found that bacteria kept people alive just long enough to keep spreading infections for centuries. Scientists hope their findings will further help understand modern outbreaks and pandemics.
It is 5:56, so we're going to take another look at your forecast before you head out the door.
Bob, I got no complaints on today's forecast.
Wow. Okay. So don't have to check the complaint box. That's good. Everybody's on the same page, enjoying the weather. It is still a little hazy and smoky out there. You can see that with the sunrise this morning. But I think the skies get bluer throughout the day. Lots of sunshine. A little muggier, too, by afternoon. Temperatures into the mid-80s. I'm going a high of 85 with 70s at the beaches. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. More clouds on Thursday into Friday with mid-80s. I think we're looking at some showers and storms Saturday. Could linger into Sunday a little bit with low 80s, maybe another chance of storms by Tuesday as we continue the summer-like pattern and then getting pretty warm again by the end of next week into the mid-80s with sunshine and clouds.
Thank you, Bob. And coming up in our next hour, cool spring controversy continues. The proposed big development for this area here in eastern Sussex County could move closer to reality after a review later today. That and more when we continue with CoastTV News Today.